On Saturday, May 6th, Canelo Alvarez will defend his undisputed super middleweight title against British underdog John Ryder. The fight takes place in Akron Stadium in Guadalajara, Mexico. The DAZN-produced event will be Canelo's first fight in Mexico since he beat Kermit Cintron via TKO inside Plaza de Toros. Seen by most as a stay-busy fight before a potential mega-clash with either David Benavidez or possibly a rematch with former foe and conqueror Dimitri Bivol, Canelo will have to stay focused against a hungry everyman challenger looking to validate his career against the biggest star in the sport. Will Alvarez continue his 168-pound dominance? Does Ryder have a once-in-a-lifetime lightning-in-a-bottle performance in him? In this video we will answer these questions, along with a quick review of how we got here, keys to victory for both, and finally, a prediction. Welcome back to the State of Boxing, Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder. Following his ill-advised challenge of Bivol at the 175-pound weight class, Canelo wisely dropped back down to his more natural weight class of 168 to close his trilogy with Gennady Golovkin last September. Alvarez looks to start a new winning streak in the division that he unified after his defeat of three undefeated champions Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and the thrilling 11th round stoppage of Caleb Plant. For most fans, this fight is nothing more than a showcase for boxing's biggest star, but his opponent naturally has other plans. Nicknamed the Gorilla, the London-born southpaw Ryder is motivated to pull off what would be the biggest upset the sport has seen since Andy Ruiz's 2019 shock of Anthony Joshua. Focusing much of preparation on strength training, Ryder is normally the shorter fighter in the ring, and his infighting style contrasts that of most of the opponents Canelo normally faces, especially since moving up to the super middleweight division. Ryder's success in fights normally comes via swarming his opponents, and that, along with superior conditioning, is what led to him starting his career at 15-0 before running into eventual Canelo victim, the then undefeated Billy Joe Saunders. With this being way back in 2013, Ryder has improved since then, albeit losing in most of his biggest tests and fighting on mostly a national level until his 2019 challenge of the then Ring Magazine 168-pound champion Callum Smith. Losing a controversial decision to the 6'3" Smith, Ryder thrust himself into the spotlight with his never-say-die attitude and will to win. He went on to win his next fight, which landed him his shot against what would become his biggest victory against Daniel Jacobs. Out-hustling Jacobs on the inside, Ryder outwilled the accomplished former middleweight champion and followed that with a victory at the O2 Arena against the undefeated Zach Parker. In terms of what Ryder must employ for victory against the great Alvarez, it appears he'll depend on the same assets he's brought into every fight: heart, strength, conditioning, and determination. For Canelo, as mentioned before, he's facing an opponent who sports only a 1-inch height advantage over him, which is a rare circumstance as Ryder will be the shortest Canelo foe since the likes of Miguel Cotto and James Kirkland. Alvarez has done well against stockier opponents as they have normally come directly at him, allowing him to utilize his excellent head movement and counterpunching ability. If Ryder isn't nuanced in his attack, Canelo can easily turn this into a James Kirkland-type highlight reel early knockout. Ryder is a long shot at best in this fight, with some places in Vegas listing him as much as a 10-1 underdog. But despite being a self-professed Canelo fan, Ryder plans to not allow that to get in his way come fight night.
Does he kind of carry a different aura to fighters you've met before? Because I was around him once in San Diego, and obviously I'm a boxing fan, so it's a bit different. But I feel like there's certain fighters that perhaps carry a different aura where when they've been so successful, they kind of just have a different feel around them. Did you get that with Canelo?
It's hard because obviously I was looking at it from a different perspective this time. Obviously I've met him before as a fan, but this time it was strictly business, so all that was put to the side, and I don't know, it's hard for me to say, but I didn't feel it this time. I just felt like it was an opponent, and that was it. Yeah.
For Canelo, the most dangerous opponent that he may face that night is himself, as homecoming title defenses have often not gone according to plan in the past for several great champions. Many of these fights have been labeled as tune-up or stay-busy fights where the outcome was seen as a foregone conclusion. Cases in point include Evander Holyfield's near-disaster defending his heavyweight title in his hometown of Atlanta against heavy underdog Burt Cooper in 1991, and the late Tommy Morrison's ill-fated Tulsa homecoming against Michael Bent in 1993. As Canelo must take heed to the past in order to not repeat it, along with the fact that he, already being the biggest name in boxing, has shined brighter than ever through movie appearances and mainstream commercials, has always remained focused throughout his training camps, and has never appeared out of shape or unfocused on his opponent. The prediction here says Ryder brings a spirited effort before being countered and broken down to the body, and eventually stopped in the middle rounds. What are your thoughts and predictions? Give your thoughts below, and if you like this content, please share, like, and subscribe. Until next time, this is the State of Boxing.